like a working group proposal, like funding
Yeah.
proposal, but we need
Mhm.
to sort out what to include it. So, for
Mhm.
example, in today's agenda, I wrote thinking about library as constant, ever living product of itself.
Mhm.
So that in our working group proposal, we can write, oh, we want to make this library self-sustainable, but we need first money, kind of thing.
Mhm.
I think also include like some budget to have a partnership with the uh, video animation and production team or animation video production team from comms or from team
Mhm.
because I mean this is something to discuss, but I think it would be great to um, like the articles or the whatever we curate into text for the library. It would be good if
Mhm.
we have videos made from those books, like a short 2-3 minute that explains, maybe 5 minutes, like that explains the whole thing. And it will be sort of like the videos that go on Investopedia, that they show some animations around like complex or intricate
Mm.
topics, and they go on explaining like derivatives and everything in just like 2 minutes. And like just
Mhm.
watching that video,
Mhm.
it's a really great addition to the text. So that could be something that we devote some budget to. Just an idea.
Yeah. I'm just picking up things here. And also we should go what what Nick put on the agenda, definitely. But one thing before we move on, so that everyone also thinks about it, maybe in parallel, and we can coordinate also after the call, is um, basically we're ready to actually get funds. Some activities going on and everything's fine. And we can definitely finalize the initiative proposals that are already done, right? Add maybe some things like here, and I would call the initiatives groups that have formed around, or maybe just the leads who have been active editing stuff. That we get those proposals ready. Anything new that comes up, for example, this could be part, Manu, this could be part of um, the advice proposal. So not just leave it here, but really feedback as advice into the forum proposal. And I would ask the person, I think Letty wrote the forum proposal, and I myself, we would then update the proposals and put them into conviction voting. So that those are in there and get the love they deserve. And another one would be, I'm just saying, like update, incorporate feedback, and move to conviction voting proposal. Conviction voting. Hi, anonymous rabbit. Voting proposal. Would that work fine, Letty, for the two initiatives? And the other one is the VG Omega proposal. Budget for focus groups, sense making, like people who are active here and basically come in and pick up the slack and also nurture the create space for whatever the proposals need. That's those maybe in a similar way like the other working groups request basically budgets for work and so on that they have done or budget to cover some expenses. But I have a feeling we should talk about this next time. We have some idea like how the focus groups need nurturing, etc., the sense making, what type of topics, and how these two activities in the working groups that we get together actually can improve the it's like background research for the two initiatives, especially TE ethics, but possibly also for the initiative TEC library, like what Manu just said, coming up with those connections, etc., is something that is going to be the ongoing work of the working group Omega. I would put that on agenda for next time if that's okay for everyone. So we get a proposal up into conviction voting for that too. Any questions? So we get this done. Yeah. And this for next time. It goes back to. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Give us feedback. Okay. Very cool. Mart, anything you wanted to add with respect to going into conviction voting? Anything missing or so? Or are we going to discuss this anyways now?
I think it's good for now. Like I will read it again. If something come up to my mind, I will give my feedback. But I think we polished it well. Now it's in a good shape, I guess.
Okay, and I would then open a point in the agenda for next time. Anything that comes to mind that we could improve with respect to how we are acknowledging the investment of time and mind share of the participants in working group, other than these 2 points that became visible is what we do. You can add that too, and yeah, I'll at the very least take care that we get another proposal up and running for the groundwork. We can call it groundwork laid out for initiatives that are now running and in the future. Okay, cool.
Can I ask
5-minute update. Yeah,
little
go
question?
ahead.
So we talked about the possible focus groups, right? So do we want to integrate it in our working group proposal so that we will run this learning group and we want fund for this kind of thing? So maybe in the next week we can decide like democratically what research ideas that we wanted to dive in. For example, like Durgadas has some idea, I have some idea, you have some idea. So maybe we can discuss like, oh, we can choose up to two and let's vote it. So if people vote Durgadas idea, we will go for it for this sprint, and we will do a learning group, focus group around it. So it will be one of the tasks that we can include in Omega working group proposal.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So that's for next time, next week. And yeah, I'll share it after the call immediately. So just hack into this area then anything that comes up between what you had in mind and then. Okay, cool. And also maybe next week, like how we work with the work, etc. And you know, putting up task and some budget to make it interesting. Who is Tesla? Wait a second. So basically, yeah, that should be all for next week. And also, someone wants to know who is Tesla in the call. Let's see. The Quantum 369. So, Court Mary, we have some new participants. If you want to say hi and anything you want to share, please do so. Else, I would give over to you, Nick, if that's okay, so that we capture the all the work that you have already put together, what needs to be done to continue it, so it doesn't play.
Okay,
and
yeah.
It keeps integrating. That would be great.
Sounds good.
Stopping sharing.
I'll share my screen. Okay, so in the Omega task, which there we go. So all of these tasks are the stuff that I've done. So all ready for feedback. There's links inside all of them for you to view the thing that I did. So for example, this one has like a Figma file, and then the other ones will have like a link to it. I believe it should be on there, or on the table of contents thing anyway. So a few things that I wanted to talk about is that I started the conversation with collaborating with Longtail Financial. So they said they're working on a boot camp for token engineers, and Omega is going to be like the first part of that boot camp. So cool. In the future, like someone will have to like stay in contact with them and figure out what's actually happening in the boot camp, so we can talk about it in the next steps. Or it's called further learning now. Yeah, in this article here, so we can update that. And also like getting someone from their end to update us on any educational initiatives that they're doing. I've already included some of, or what they already have in their calendar in here. So for example, like their office hours are on there. And
cool.
Yeah, there's basically everything. So they also had like the Prime DAO events and block science events on their calendar, so I just added those in. So someone will have to just like keep up to date with like all the different token engineering community events and just like update the calendar. And then for this stuff, I guess it relates to the other points as well. So like if they feel like, well, I've actually, never mind. I've already added them in the hire token engineer. It's just like one of the firms, and block science is on there as well. Even though they're quite busy, but like I just thought it would be good to have somewhere
at
to
the very least
towards.
Exactly, that we have, because the questions are coming in and we keep answering the same.
Yeah.
And for example, the CAD labs and so on is also in there. Also
no, it's not actually. So
okay, I can. Yeah.
So
that's cool. You can assign that to me if you're busy already.
Okay, and also here, let me just slide it. I don't think you're on here yet, actually. Sebnem, the new Notion for the T Utilities library, so definitely check that out.
Okay.
And for this question, basically what I'm trying to do is like get them to provide us with some of their token engineers to like volunteer for this initiative that I have going on, which I'll talk about in a moment. So basically, like, would they, like, if they could give someone to advise people working on their projects, like to answer the questions. Obviously, like, not like proper consulting, but just like answering questions relating to the Omega library content. So if someone's like, oh, this doesn't make sense, then perhaps like one of their token engineers can put it into context, like, of like a project they're working on or something like that. But yeah, just
and this peer learning is also a concept accompanying the library, right? Did we work that out somehow? Is there a section?
Yes. So I have it on here. So what I have set up is like, well, I have a couple example groups on here. So basically, like, you just enter your Discord stuff, whatever your name is, or if you need more members. And then, like, if there is an advisor name, like, if LTF provides us with token engineers, that's where they'll go, like, say it's Dr. Penland or something, and then what their availability is, and then what the members' projects are working on. And then, like, if they have any questions, they can just, like, tag the advisor or like, post a comment on here, and then the other members can try and answer their questions. Because like they're all learning together, right? Or the advisor can, depending on their availability. So yeah, that's basically
that's super cool. And it's basically something like a learning group, peer learning group or peer support group, like people learning about liquidity bootstrapping pools and augmented bonding curves and what have you. And they tag what they're currently looking at from the library. Maybe they add their own novice curation in there from those groups. And basically, if someone joins from, let's say, LTF or T Academy, maybe alumni, I don't know. But actually, if mentees are available and they are like, oh, these are cool projects I want to support, or these are people with good background wanting to join token engineering or onboard token engineering, I want to make it easy for them because we need those type of people. I definitely see that happening. So
yes, can I say something, because this is like super interesting to have these learning groups. Hello Tesla also.
Yeah, we can hear you.
And the thing that it would be like super cool to have, maybe not in phase one, because we're trying to make this onboarding easy and to have new people just getting into the library, into this first, and contributing, as you say, like, oh, this is my first approach, so I'm coming here and I want to put this up, this group, and I want to study with these people. But if we could join these efforts with LTF, as you were saying, and maybe the academy, and then have this circular curriculum, that would be super nice to have. Like we are running the programs and the library with this kind of structure. So that's for the token engineers, because we Nick and me talked about the hiring engineers, and I see that's like another step we need to maybe think about, that process of hiring people from here.
Yeah, exactly. I think we really need to nurture much more before we even, how we started the academy was, we're gonna just have people reviewing projects, and basically I'm like, no, there are not enough people, and if they are, they just get scooped by the market, right? You need to open up more and so on. And that's basically also in T Academy or the token engineering community Discord. First, there were also study groups. The research programs are more structured, etc., around a certain topic. But it's always good to have, and also to create space for peer learning. So definitely the library can have that, or we can definitely invest in there. So I'm game too. I see it as not just one more comment. I see it as something that will evolve, like, but that's a point if we make the concepts clear. In my view, that is also a feature of this library that is going to motivate more experience or people who might be busy in their global token networks, whatever, still take time to actually create. because imagine there are people creating learning groups around your curation. I think that's also very, feeling that positive impact that you can create by giving back to the community through a in quotation marks simple curation is something that speaks a lot to people, high quality creators, or more experienced ones who might be yeah in the trenches, that they come out and take time to give back, because they know will be the impact. It's not just a dead library, but actually people are creating and coming together around those curations. Really nice touch and super valuable. Thanks for setting this up, Nick. So
You're
and
welcome.
with TE Academy, do you need do you
I,
have
I would like to say
or have you
something.
established? Yes, Juan, go ahead.
Yeah, that I've been talking also with Mert this week, and I think that one point that could be a bridge between the library and between Omega and between Gravity are the educational activities. So our idea would be that the people that participate in the educational activities that Gravity will be hosting, we can redirect them to the library, but also that the people that joins Omega and the library can serve as a funnel to participate in the educational activities that we will be offering.
Definitely. And basically all of as Durga always says, like all of the humanities side of this cryptoeconomics flower, right? I see that as culmination. Yeah, if we pick up ethics here as the entry point, literally the courses and the whole curriculum that Gravity created and the gravitons is definitely something that mm, yeah, I see it also as an experience space, if you will, like reading up on those curations, but then how do you actualize in conflict management, non-violence communication, etc. So definitely. Would you be up for maybe, I don't know, maybe in another session, or if you, is it already visible to you, like how you could use the page that Nick just showed, where maybe some OG gravitons act as mentors or advisors, and that goes with the curation of Juan, what you're doing, Manu, and Durgada's curation.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I haven't interacted that much with the Notion. I have like the link, but I haven't interacted that much with it. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I will need to like
Sure.
get some attention to that. But yeah, I am willing.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Mm-hmm.
a question
Cool.
about this. We
Mm-hmm.
have the crypto economics flower, but I do wonder, in terms of alignment, if we in the TEC have the working groups that are actually uh, set up so they're specifically to be in alignment with the crypto economics flower, and to maybe make an assessment of, maybe we have two working groups that are in one pedal and then none that are in another. Like, have we done any kind of comparative analysis of
It.
that?
I don't. Let's see. Can you show the? Can you show the crypto economics flower once, please? So I don't see as we go. Like these are useful models.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but we don't have to live by them like they're,
Mm-hmm.
the Ten Commandments. Like this is just
Sure.
something super useful if you're like, oh, crypto economics, it's so multidimensional, transdisciplinary. Where do I start? Where do I come from?
Mm-hmm.
Just dislocating where you are and then a library that is curated by people who have been in this domain and have worked through those rabbit holes that are nice, but also demanding, that they give you some, not breadcrumbs, but actual real menus, right? Nice, tasty menus. I'm stealing from Nick's onboarding help, like really tell you, okay, look, this was my journey through crypto economics. This is where I come from, and so on. So, and the way I wouldn't have even gone there, like what I see very, very clearly, if you look at the TE Academy curriculum and also the activities, is very, very engineering heavy, which is important. Why? Because we need those safe engineers and safe engineering practices and so on. So it doesn't go away. It's a software system. It's a complex, adaptive, dynamic software and data-driven system. So that's that. But we have the human side of it, right? And that's the psychology, decision science, political science, philosophy, law, ethics, economics, behavioral game theory, management science, like that part where I feel is more reflected somehow in token engineering commons, how it was set up, literally just bringing in the praise and gratitude into a community. It's happened for the first time and people are taking this on. So my suggestion would be, if the working groups feel that they are coming from one petal or the other, that might be useful again for, if that flower is useful for individuals to locate themselves, maybe it's useful for working groups. I know I wouldn't try anything more than just say, hey, in Omega, we're focused on ethics and ethos. Ethos has a lot to do with culture or norms, right? And that's basically connects us then to soft gov, to gravitons. What else? Like,
I
yeah,
only asked the
and
question
basically,
because it was my
mhm.
observation that we don't talk about the crypto economics flower that much in the working groups that I'm in. So I mean, I know we talk about it here a lot, but it's just it was a question.
I feel that would be
That's
great
totally
for
fine.
SoftGov.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, maybe that would be great for SoftGov.
Mm.
Yes, I think the idea of the flower was something to get our minds into, because it was like kind of difficult to focus our several disciplines, and for
Yeah.
the sake of the library, is something that is very useful to follow up on. So people are asking, maybe how do I contribute into this specific petal? Maybe you don't need to contribute to the whole three disciplines in the same petal, but you want to say, okay, this is my 5 top in this petal. But maybe people just want to, or some engineer want to say, okay, this is the first principle, which is like matching up all those other disciplines, maybe something with laws of governance, and then smart contracts. And he comes up with this idea that this is all automation in ethics in real estate, and this is super useful for that specific thing. So this person, this engineer, who is maybe an architect, or is maybe an industrial engineer, or is maybe a real estate lawyer, comes up with this thing and say, okay, this is my creation, and it's not in a specific library, but my first principle is automation in real estate, and he contributes in that way. So it's not a specific, and this is a guiding principle for everyone that comes up and wants to contribute with something like this. It is not in a petal, but it's first principle thinking.
Yeah. And also this transdisciplinary, the whole point why we call it consilience library is because we want those curation to actually reflect that people, they don't just say, hey, this is my worldview, this is my education, this is where I come from, and this is how I see the world, and crypto economics for that matter, but that actually there has been some transcending of own paradigms of, this is how I was educated, but this is what I had to learn because I was so into it. And this is the people that I interact with on a daily basis, which no one told me how to, and so on. So I think, yeah, we will see the getting the curations and inspiring also why should people curate, and share also the personal or the subjective annotation is super important, much more important than the flower in itself. It's just a starting point, as Letty said, like a focal point, but you have all the freedom in your creations. That's also something that Matt put forward in the very beginning, right? Yeah.
I had a little question regarding this flower. Can I just try to make like a redesign of it? Like a visual, just a visual, not content-wise, but I was thinking maybe it would be nice
Yes,
to make a visual of it also.
go for it. It was all black and white in the original paper, and this one, the colored one, that's from Jeff, and he literally, made it as a fun gimmicks, but we loved it so much, so, and it gave color. So please go ahead. Would be
Okay.
curious, and what you have in mind? Would you like to share
Yeah,
what you have in mind?
yeah, I had like a question for the icons because I made the backgrounds, but now I feel the icons are just a mess. So I think I will focus on the icons of tasks and promotional material.
Mm-hmm.
Those ones I think are kind of soothing, kind of with the backgrounds, one of task and the one of promotional material. And then I had a question on the seed curations because, yeah, that's the first question. Like, do you think that the blue one and the silver one are kind of the way to go? Or should I like really rethink and also make this kind of greenish things like the backgrounds also as icons? And then the second question is, in seed curations, I started going wild on the backgrounds, but then I thought maybe I should leave those pictures there because maybe they're related to the article somehow. So should I keep going, adding and putting those kind of green backgrounds, or is it better to leave that open for persons to post their own images? So those two questions. And then the third one, yeah, to make like an interpretation or like a more painted version, like the icons, maybe with the colors of this kind of flower, but more like towards a painted version, or maybe better to also do it as the backgrounds. So these three questions I would like to ask in the group. I don't know if someone can give some feedback on those.
For myself, I think I put a photo in there. I'm not sure. Maybe there wasn't a photo. I can't recall exactly if I had done that.
I feel I need to speak because those photos that are left there are three of them. I put them on it. I think they are useful in terms of graphics and visuals for people to come in and say, okay, has some kind of relation with the real quote unquote world. So maybe for the backgrounds, I like the dynamics and the and all this real style or parallel lines. But maybe for the more visual parts, and if we match this with videos as we are thinking about this, maybe this is also a clue for the video graphics. So maybe for the themes, I would put pictures, and for the icons, I would make those customized. And I like the backgrounds, but maybe for the interior of the chapters, so you have the backgrounds in the inside. Yeah.
But for the ones that have not yet been taken up, I do that. I think it works both well, and this is super cool. Like with the icon, yeah, and
Yes.
the background, and even if what if someone changes? Can we keep them somewhere? Like, do we have the files and so on, right?
I have all my files on Mintbase, so I don't have them listed as
Perfect.
NFTs, but they're in. I have them backed up. Just the pictures that I replaced there, I didn't back up the ones that I replaced, so that's maybe my fault.
Um, And just one more question, but maybe we take it then not offline, but continue. One idea would be also, for example, we have this AI optimization control with the art from Steph. And when the curator comes in and actually takes it up, they get the NFTs of your art. Is that something that could work?
I did just post in the Omega group the link to the TEC branding assets, which may be a good repository for, maybe keeping
linking
some of
those?
these things, So like maybe we could create a separate, section where it's for the Consilience library or something, and, that kind of thing. So,
Okay.
so if you
Yeah,
guys are wondering like where to put stuff, and, that way maybe
Steph,
we could make
would you?
choices about it
Yeah,
instead of
I put
just
them
having
on
somebody
Minbase.
unilaterally choose.
Now I put them on Minbase because Minbase is connected to Arweave, and Arweave is this kind of permanent storage facility, so that's why I put them there. I'm kind of open to put them anywhere. I kind of like to keep them somewhere on that are available for persons later. Also, it would be nice if there's some kind of flow towards our DAO of Les Gauche or something. That's why they're on Minbase. So.
I don't know anything about Mintbase, and I haven't heard of it, so.
Okay.
One important aspect of at the very least linking those in the GitHub is also that we keep track of such contributions, especially if we realize, hey, okay, we could build on those more. It will be the same, yeah.
And by the way, Steph, for the few pages that I made, these icons, you can replace. I kind of just chose arbitrary ones.
Yeah, I will replace all those, but I will focus on blue, green, silver, and black. I think that will be like the color palette for the next icons.
So if you link those in Notion or in GitHub, that we at the very least have those links and your contribution in there. Yeah, at the very least in Notion, so we have the contributions.
Yeah, I will link everything in the Notion and the task that I'm working on there. I'll put all the URLs of Arweave and Minbase, so you have all that material together. It just took me some time because I was in Omicron this week, so I'm going a bit slower. So.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay, it's not so bad.
Yeah, take time to heal.
Yeah, it's fine. It's already over. It was just a bit a hot day. Anyways, I'll make it work. Give me another week or something.
Cool. Okay. Nick. So peer learning working is a big check. I think we have enough people who want to continue. That's great addition. The T and LTF is also fine. I think I'm in contact. Durgadas is in contact with them. Who else is LTF fan here?
I can
Just so we
contact you.
know. Matt, you're also yeah. So I think there too. And with the T Academy, did talks already happen with Angela or someone else from T Academy?
No, not yet. But I have seen
Not yet.
I have seen someone from TV Academy talking to Communitas. So like maybe when we coordinate with Communitas and inviting people to the library, they can also like let us know what events are happening at the TV Academy, because it looks like TV Academy is Communitas, and well, at least I saw messages on the Communitas channel or someone from TV Academy being like, "Are you cool with this date for the intro to token engineering course?"
Do we have someone from Communitas here? Or one of us active in Communitas?
Yeah, I'm a guy. I'm a guy there.
Yes. Perfect. So, do you think, have you picked up on that, what Nick just shared with the questions?
So I made like
Mhm.
like ideas here for like maybe what you guys do based on their needs. But you're already aware of this. I can't do this. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
I
Yeah.
just need to. I need to tell Edu from community to see how we can coordinate this.
Okay, cool. And if you need support, etc., don't hesitate. But if there are already connections happening, let's use them. And if you need anything, I can also contact Angela. It's not a problem. But it just becomes, the stack is just so overfull that if there are other connections already happening, that we just use them. Then, Letty, you had mentioned something about an inverter proposal. I think that's an insider joke that I don't get.
Maybe it's an insider joke, but I'm not well aware of the joke, so I cannot make it. But yeah, this is something that is floating around the community, I think, because in Tech Labs, Sean is trying to dog food an inverted proposal, and this is something that maybe Mert can talk about because I think he's liaising with Prime DAO with this as well. And I think this is the idea of instead of making one proposal and say, okay, we need these funds and we're asking this to the common pool of the tech. We instead say, okay, we think this is a good proposal for the whole community or communities or DAOs which are around us, and we say, okay, let's liaise with them directly and ask, maybe from this treasury we ask this kind of amount of quantity, and to the other treasury. So this needs like a whole coordination to several communities or DAOs, and this is kind of what I think is the inverted proposal.
Mm-hmm.
But since I didn't have time to read the whole post or even be in a lab session, I really don't know what are the dynamics. But I think this is the idea, not only to ask funds from one treasury, but instead liaising with the whole community and say, okay, much people are interested in this. This is a whole proposal for several communities, so let's coordinate. That's the idea. It's a joke and an idea.
Got it.
Actually,
Just one question, Juan. Sorry, no, Nick, go ahead.
Whoever's coordinating with Longtail Financial can also talk to them about the inverter proposal, because I think one of their engineers is working on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm already in contact with Long-Term Financial regarding some research of automated trading strategies. So I can be in contact with them, with Mike and Liam. Yeah.
Cool. Super cool.
And Mert also knows them, so the both of us we can coordinate that.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I also know them pretty well too.
So maybe through proposal inverter, if we wanted to give a proposal regarding to library, instead of just giving into TEC, we can give through a proposal inverter and trying to find a couple of DAO funders to fund us. So basically, what proposal inverter do is, instead of multiple DAOs giving multiple proposal, multiple DAOs will give one proposal, so that they don't have to use they don't have to deal with organizational problems
like us maybe. And just to correct myself, I said treasuries. It's not treasury. The treasury is backing up the reserve of our currency. It could be the common pools or the associated funds from other communities that are available to fund this kind of proposals, just to be like super specific. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's that. Just a question then to Juan and Durgadas from Graviton. Have you come across that as well? Because obviously gravity and gravitons are needed across, or that type of learning is needed across DAOs. Have you come across this, or have you made use of it already somehow?
I think it's a thing we definitely need to invest more in. Because I mean, it is not only a way to get funding, but it's also a way to leverage. I think it's a little bit more of a phase 2 thing right now. So we're right now in sort of phase 1 of gravity, and so moving into phase 2, we'll be able to then do that type of thing. But I think right now we want to make sure that our all of the infrastructure that we're creating and all the mental models and so on are generalizable in the sense that it'll be applicable.
Gotcha.
So maybe you can speak more to that one.
I see that also
Yeah.
possible for the sessions that. Sorry, Juan, please go ahead.
No, that I agree with Durga that this space is so fast paced that there are always new things to add and to do. But that right now we want to like continue the operations that we have been having, but in a group way, and we will have also a lot of like activities towards the business development side and funding the like marketing and business activities to make it more sustainable.
Cool. So I also see that as a possibility for tea ethics, but there again, we should have the practice session ready and maybe run once within the token engineering community and see how well it works. Then those could be also part of the ethics related curations and so on, where those practice sessions and facilitators or people who have participated in them can become this
Megatrons.
Yeah, look at that stream, but just be there and also people going through those sections or those curated curations, that they have people ready for them and so on. Yeah. Definitely also see it as after we have the content ready, but for the library in itself, it seems like maybe it could be even at the end of phase 1 or towards, once we have seed creations and so on and testing it out, it actually makes sense to share it more with more people. Definitely. So, yeah.
I see that Sean is in.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, nice to be here. I could only catch the last 10 minutes, but it's, yeah, I'm just tuning in. Just saying hi.
Yeah, hi. Super cool. So one part was the inverter proposal. That's, how can the library be useful and maybe cross-funded from others, and that people in LTF know and work about it. So Manu and Mert will be in contact with the LTF people with respect to that.
There.
And the other one is cool.
Just on that.
And the other
quick.
one was, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, there's TEC squad emerging. I'm just blanking a bit on Mitch, and there's two. I know Mert, of course, is deeply involved, but I think overall across a few working groups and the stewards, there's 4 or 5 people at least in the TEC who really want to go in on this proposal inverter. So it's cool. We're actually, what we have now is like 3 full squads. We have like a TEC squad, we have an LTF squad, and we have a Prime DAO squad. So, so we're seeing some interesting emergent phenomenon already, because we call this the dog food. The dog food model for the proposal inverter. We're basically trying to use the proposal inverter to fund the proposal inverter. And so what we're seeing now is that all of the at least proposed pairs. So we're thinking actually for pairs we have PrimeDAO, TEC, and Gitcoin. And so 2 out of the 3 pairs, and these are proposed pairs, so we're just kind of finalizing the proposals. 2 out of 3 of them are actually supplying workers as well. So I wonder if this would be a consistent phenomenon where pairs are also supplying workers. Creates like a internally circular economy. It's like micro economies inside of a intra DAO collaboration project. So excited. Definitely please reach out. There is like a TEC squad forming, so it'll be cool to see what form that takes.
Yeah. And basically also with respect to work, like what of the work that needs to be done or that we're doing for the library and maybe even for the tea ethics sessions, I don't know, like how that can be leveraged in multiple groups. Is that the direction that is going, like not just the funds but also the brains?
Totally. I will share quickly. I see Mert's in here. I think Mert.
Go ahead.
No, he's literally in the Miro board where I just jumped to. I think he had the same idea as me, but I'm just going to share my screen really fast and show that. By the way, Mert's doing an awesome job, like in the PrimeDAO workshops, being the facilitator. He's kind of like the Tamara of the proposal inverter group. He's really structuring sprints really well and reflections and things like that. So he gave this pitch today in the workshop, but January 24th to February 10th, this is Sprint 2 just opening up. We did complete Sprint 1, surprisingly hitting every item on the sprint. And like Mert said, wow, never seen that in a DAO before. So exciting. I think this is what happens when we have inter-DAO collaboration. We actually get the bodies, we get the numbers of people coming out and really filling in all those roles. So we were able to hit all these checkboxes in Sprint 1. And Sprint 2, we have an iteration on the MVP spec, which we reviewed today in the workshop. Heavy industry outreach. So thinking about integrations and documentation on those with things like vaults, Coordinape, Gitcoin, bonding curves, cross-chain for the PI, Yearn Finance, and Popcorn Finance, and a few others came up today. Jeff Emmett shared this radical drip. He thinks it's really important that we pay attention to it and understand it in the context of the proposal inverter, because it is about a network of streaming funds. So it is, he's saying, don't reinvent the horse. We can probably grab these smart contracts, use them, plug on top of it. And then what we want to bring is the user experience. We want to make streamlined collaboration. So that's really the theme of the proposal inverter. Actually, there's 2 themes that emerged today in the workshop. One is streamlined collaboration, and number 2 is curation for projects, so that no matter what DAO you're in, you can see the projects that are emerging across the DAO space, and there's some sort of curation aspect. We're actually looking at recommendation engines, so similar. It's gonna be like the Netflix of projects, of decentralized projects. That's the idea. Lots of cool stuff. I think that's So workspace setup and squad definitions. Like I said, these squads are emerging, so we just want to have those well defined throughout the sprint, and then just continuing on these simulation diagramming and agent behavior iterations. That's the cool thing to shill Longtail a little bit. We do have a squad there of modelers, Thomas, Taz, and Austin. Really strong, sort of 2 computer scientists and a physicist, and they have been putting together these agent-based modelings for the proposal inverter, and we have got to show them off a couple times in the workshops, but I think there's a lot more there. They're making some pretty epic contributions to token engineering, so maybe that is an aspect that we could bring into Omega at a later time to share the agent-based approach that they're taking.
That could be definitely something also we have one session on, it seems like.
That would be really neat.
Or what do you think? Or if that is more efficient, that if you share, I don't know if you have recordings or anything that you just
I think we
drop in
should
the chat also.
maybe in like 2 weeks from now. I'm not sure the Omega schedule, but in like 2 weeks from now, we do a session on agent-based simulations, and maybe just the proposal inverter one, or 2 weeks we can kind of advertise a little bit. Maybe other people want to talk about some concepts or share some things as well.
Okay, let's note that, because we have for next week, but then in 2 weeks we could put it on the agenda if this time is cool, or else we can you can just advertise it here whenever this is happening, and we join you in those sessions. But you're more than welcome to come and be hosted in Omega as well.
Yes, I would
And
love that.
okay.
I'm trying to get more of the Longtail team out to Omega on a consistent basis, so this will give them an excuse to all get out and get familiar with it.
I think the library will be definitely a nice connection, also connection to the boot camps or curriculum of the academy. So any group that is actually helping people really on board, and they have their own specific curated curriculum. I mean, coming from Longtail FinTech, and with the focus or the skills that you have and you're building out. That definitely, I see those groups or those communities have maybe different foci. And the library is basically something you could have LTF curation within there, maybe. Things like that could
Happy
be
to,
possible.
Remind me in an hour and a half.
But in any case, let's keep that in mind, that like anywhere where knowledge is being curated and flows, this library can be a helpful onboarding and also offboarding after the boot camps or any curriculum that you have, like where to next, what should I go and look into. I'm coming from these backgrounds, now I participated in LTF boot camp or the Graviton education. Where should where could I went next?
I've seen Nick doing really good work on this. We haven't got to chat yet, but I've seen really cool flowcharts and things like that. I think that's been happening here in Omega, which is pretty exciting. So definitely, happy to contribute some kind of like pipelines, educational pipelines that could just fit into that ecosystem. Durgadas.
How to connect.